All right, perfect. Hello, my name is Joanna Fatonji, and I am a certified life mastery consultant, and I'm welcoming you to the Money Identity Activation, aka the Power of Vision. And today we are diving into your next level. So, welcome. Today, I'm very, very happy to present to you this space. It's a space, and I want to invite you to step into this space as if you are stepping into an event, into a room, into a sanctuary. That is how I like to call my space because what we're doing here is soul work aligned with abundance. All right. So I want to invite you to get loose with a little story. So the story goes like that. A mother mouse was leading her three children through a house of a and all of a sudden, as they're turning the corner, the mice sees a cat. And that cat looks at the mice with hunger in his eyes and slowly starts walking towards the mice, revealing its sharp teeth. And then the mother mouse says, in an effort to protect her children, children, back up. She raises up on her hind legs and then she says as loud as she can, ruff, ruff, ruff. As the cat gets scared and runs up, the mother mouse turns to her little babies and says, now, children, never underestimate the power for learning more than one language. Great. So, as I share this story, is to make a point, and that is this. We can all learn more than one language. And I know probably you know one more language than just one. But today we are going to talk about the language of success. And this is the language for creating a result that you want. And once we consciously understand this language, we can apply it to any area of our lives that we want to improve. Now, this is a system, a success system that has been developed over the past 40 years, and it has been used by tens of thousands of people all around the world to create lives that they love living, including me. It's a proven, repeatable, reliable system for helping you create what matters most to you. So, to help you achieve the most value from this workshop, I invite you to minimize the distraction. As I just said, create a sacred space, right? You have this time now. Allow yourself to get comfortable, to get cozy. Get yourself a drink, a coffee, light an incense, light a candle, take a sip of water, let it flow, right? Dim your lights, whatever you need to do to get comfortable in the energy, in the presence of this sanctuary feeling, right? I want you to create a sacred space for yourself because I truly believe that this work is sacred. So dive in, minimize the distraction, turn off your phone, put it on a silent mode, and bring your full presence to this moment. Okay? Great. Thank you. So let's dive in by seeing who of you has a desire for new results, right? Who of you has a desire for new results? How many of you have a goal that you like to achieve or some area of your life that you would like to improve? I always like to speak about money. I like to focus on money because I truly believe that, especially the kind of woman that I'm serving, you have so much to offer, but your money is not matching up. Yes. So I don't want to get us distracted by focusing on another area of your life. I will dive into that in a little bit. That when you focus on the most pressing feeling or the most pressing desire, your life will change in every area. All right. So raise your hand if you have a desire for more money. And even behind the screen, I want you to use your body, right? I want you to use your body. I want you to raise your hand. I want you to say yes, right? Even if nobody can see you, you can see you. And in my work, I work with the mind-body connection, right? The mind and the body are one. So let's take our body along the journey in this workshop. Okay. So perfect. You have a money result that you would love to change. Yes. Yes. Perfect. And my intention today is to help you walk away with the most, right? And one of the things that I like to share with you really are the powerful tools of the vision workshop that we're going to dive into. Three tools to achieve your goals, to gain greater clarity on your goals and your dreams, and feel even more confident in your ability to do so. Awesome. So I'm very, very grateful that you are here, that I am here, and that we get to do this sacred work together. So I want to ask you, have you ever achieved a goal or a dream before? Have you ever achieved a goal or a dream before? Right? Probably you have, right? Probably you have. So I want to remind us that even if we set out to achieve a goal and in the beginning we didn't know how, we still started, right? Maybe it is about school, right? As I also said, I am, or I'm going to say that in my story, I am the first in my family who went to academia and got her degree. In the beginning, I didn't know exactly how that would look like because nobody told me, but I followed the system. I followed a structure, and I knew that if I would do what it takes, I could get there. And I got there. And this has worked over and over again. And maybe that's exactly you. You have gone into spaces, especially in education, where you followed what was required of you and you got it. Correct? Good. So we want to not so much focus on the how, but we want to focus on the what. What is your dream? Okay, good. So I know that this is exactly what we can recreate, right? So I see that this shows that we are all capable of more than we know right now. So you weren't sure of how, but you still did it. And that proves that you can create a money result, a wealth result by applying different tools and different mindsets to create first the identity and then the result. That's exactly what I'm specialized in. So that's exactly what we're doing here today. So, what I've learned during the many opportunities that I've had to speak before different groups and organizations is that just like a blade of grass will press through cement and seek the light. Yeah, the same thing is often true for our dreams and our goals. They are often born out of the challenges we face or the pain that we experience. So we have to be honest with ourselves, right? Raise your hand. How many of you have a challenge? Yeah, you're currently experiencing some area of your life that is causing you pain. Perhaps in your career or in a relationship, yeah, perhaps in your health. And all of that can be traced back to our wealth identity. Yeah. But first, again, acknowledge the pain. Acknowledge the pain. Yeah. That there is something that you want to change. Okay. So very, very important. Keep your hand up. And I want you to say that I'm here to face the pain. I'm here to face the challenge and to solve it. All right. All right. Perfect. So, as we said, there's always polarity. Yeah. Two signals for growth. There is longing and there's discontent. We live in a universe that speaks through us through polarity, longing and discontent. And we experience this feeling of longing when we have a desire for something new that we haven't created yet. And we feel the feeling of discontent when there's a current situation, a current circumstance that we don't prefer. Right? Both of these longing and discontent are catalysts for growth. within us. So we have to honor them. We have to feel them and not to bury them under denial or shame. Okay, good. So Reverend Michael Beckwith always says we are often pushed by pain until we are pulled by a vision, right? We are often pushed by pain until we are pulled by a vision. That is true for all of us, right? So we experience this by feeling. I always like to say that we have to feel it. So whether it is the pain of a problem or a burning desire for something new, these two energies are essential for creating new results in our lives. So I want to share with you my personal story. So, as I said, today, I'm a life mastery consultant and I do my soul's work. That is my soul's work to help women make more money with their personal talents, gifts, competences, expertises, and to make an impact doing what they love. But it hasn't always been that way. I started my journey when I came fresh out of university and I graduated. I thought I was on top of the world and I found myself in a corporate career. Of course, the first thing that we think is the way to the life that we desire is to go into corporate or to follow a proven path of success. And I found myself in finance and I quickly realized like that's not where I belong. So I prayed. I'm a woman of faith. And I prayed and I knew that there was more for me. And I knew that I didn't have to suffer in a situation longer than necessary because I knew already that there was a way out. That's probably also what brought you here, right? So I did it. I made a decision and I set out to discover my purpose and definitely a way to get paid doing what I love. So, said and done, 10 years fast forward, I'm looking back on a journey of becoming a holistic nutritionist, learned from the best in Germany. I then invested my first 14,000 euros or dollars back then into my personal coaching. And then I invested all in all up to 100,000 euros into my personal and professional coaching and development. And I bought a business in a box. I bought a proven, repeatable, reliable system, the six-figure business blueprint that I also share with my clients. And the first person that I helped to get out of her career was my mom. And we founded a vegan cafe. We did it and it was amazing. And that was our first attempt or our first way of creating a better life for people, helping them with nutrition while serving our own desire, which was to create that business. Then later on, I created my own online coaching business. It was during COVID because, again, I'm very aware of what's going on in the system. And I didn't get the injection back then, but I leaned into serving my soul's mission and my purpose with helping women to get to their next level wealth identity and build their businesses. So then I went back into corporate sales because I wanted to sharpen my sales skills, and it led me to sell over a worth of 10 million in products and services in very high level, high performing sales positions. And today I'm back here. But before I landed back on my 2 feet, I had to hit rock bottom. And that rock bottom for me was my dad's death and me facing debt, financial debt of over 25,000 euros that I had to pay off and get back on my feet. So today I can really say that it needs the polarity. I was high serving my mission and helping my mom, helping hundreds of other professional women all around Europe get to their next level. And I had to also face my rock bottom before I could re-emerge into my higher self. So that's just a little bit of my story. I became a top 20 contestant in Miss Germany, and I served also there with my mission statement of soft gifted women empower, because I truly believe in women not working harder but aligning with their energy, with their body, with their gifts, with their competence, with their wealth identity, and create systematic impact and change through their own leadership. So that's my story. And I have a promise for you that today we will be sharing some principles that will help you to transform your longing and your discontent into new results. The principles that I teach come from a program that I'm certified. As I said, I bought a business in a box and I got into the training. It's called the Wealth Architect. Yeah. And this program, there are 10 principles that will skyrocket your success if you apply them to your life and your business. And today we are going to talk about three principles that you can apply right now into your life that will help you create the foundation of a life that you absolutely love living. And these three principles are keys to mastering your results. So if you're in for the possibility of creating something even more amazing for your life, I want you to touch your heart or say, something that really connects you to your body. I don't want you to just listen. I want you to feel, because you are here for you. You're here for your next level dream. So touch yourself, say yes. All right. Perfect. So here's my promise to you. I promise that I'm going to give you everything I can in this time that we have together. And at the end of this presentation, many of you will want to take this information further and integrate it into your life. Yes? So for you, I have a special gift that you are going to love that I will give to you at the end of this presentation. So let's get started. So, as I said today, I'm going to share with you three keys for mastering your results. And you know that each one of this is creating results in our lives every day, every day. So, the first thing, again, as we started with longing and discontent, it's the same principle of polarity. There are always two sides to a coin. And if we want new results, we either create them by design or by default. Yeah. So the lives that we are living, most of the time, people just stay in their comfort zone and they do what they do, what they do, what they do without a new consciousness and then planning from that new consciousness. In fact, most people spend most of their time organizing little things like vacations, weekends, all of that, instead of investing the time to plan and design their next level wealth identity, their strategy to make more money. Yes, that's correct, right? So that's what we are shifting into, learning the language of success, just like Mother Mouse. And on the other hand, that's what highly successful people do is they create a life by design, right? That means that we set a clear intention for what you would love, and then we consciously create what we want in our lives. And we are doing that, as I also said in the beginning, in all areas of our lives. Today, we are focusing on the money aspect. I'm very intentional about that because I have identified that as the root of many women's fear of not creating the life of their dreams. But at the same time, getting to the root, and money, sex, power, and respect, as I always like to say, is the root of your creation. And when we work with that, change that, shift that, Every area of your life is going to change. Your love and your relationships are going to change. Your health and well-being is going to change. Your career success is going to change. And of course, your money is going to change. Yes? So here's the good news. No matter what the results are currently, how big the challenge might feel to you, no matter how long your results have been the same, you absolutely have the power to create the exact results that you would love in your life. Good? Good. So, number one, I want you or us to play a game, okay? And to prove to you that this game is going to change the way you see your life. So, I will count 30 seconds, yeah? And or let's say you have 30 seconds and I will put the timer on. Yes. And the next slide is going to be what you are going to deal with. Okay. So I want you to count as high as you can. You're going to see numbers on a piece of paper on the slide here. And I want you to count from one to as high as you can in 30 seconds. Okay. You are alone in your own room, right? So I want you to count out loud. Okay, so you say one, two, three, and so on and so forth. But you have to find the numbers on the sheet of paper. All right, so you will see the sheet of paper in a second, and I want you to count from one, find the numbers, yeah, and then count as high as you can. All right, let's go. 5 more seconds and stop. All right, boom. You can chat it out or you can just count it out for yourself. I want to know how high did you count? And would you love to know the secret? Yes. Good. There is a secret to it. One, two, three, four. Okay. That's the pattern. That's the pattern. Okay. And now you know the pattern. I want us to do the same thing again. Okay. So I want us to do the same thing again. So before we dive in, I'm fortunate to get to speak to many different groups and organizations at live events. And usually I do that at live events. And often at the presentation, someone will come back in the room and find me and say, yeah, like I want you to do that with another group. So if you are thinking about inviting me to a group, I'm always happy to talk about that. Okay. So just send me a email. You find all my or write me here in the Skool community. And whatever I go and do that, it's always fun. Okay, so we're going to do that another time. And I want to share with you how that goes. So, perfect. All right. So let's go. And one, two, three. Let's go. Stop. Okay, all right. I did the exercise with you and we had now 36 seconds. But how many did you count now? I'm sure that you counted more than before, correct? Yes, all right. So this is how you see. How did you improve? You probably did improve, right? And we see that all of that before we jump to the next slide. It is all pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is the way you create faster success in your life. Seeing your patterns and seeing patterns in this whole reality. Okay, good. So let's dive in again, right? Perfect. So I'm going to introduce to you the first key, the master key, shortly. But before we go there, I have a couple of important concepts that I want to share with you. Yeah. And these ideas will support you in expanding your awareness for success. And that is the result formula. Yeah. So these are the ideas that will support you in expanding your awareness of success in every area that you desire. As we touched on earlier, there are four major domains. Every domain is going to be impacted by another domain. Your health impacts your relationship impacts your career impacts your income. Okay, everything is connected. We are focusing on money because, again, that is the intention of this workshop, but it's going to impact the quality of all of the areas of your life immensely. So, the results that you're getting in these areas are always reflected by your awareness. So let's expand our awareness together by studying the pattern that creates our results. And that is what I call the results formula, the cause and effect formula, right? The formula begins like that. Thoughts create feelings, feelings create actions, and actions create results, right? How do you feel when you think that you've lost your wallet? Right? Your heart races with fear, correct? How do you feel when you realize that it's in your coat pocket? You relax, right? You relax with relief. Yes. All right. So when you think joyful thoughts, you feel happy, right? And when you think scary thoughts, your heart beats faster. This is again the mind body connection, as I said. Just like the way I want you to participate physically, it's the mind body connection. Thoughts affect your physiology, your thoughts manifest in your body. That is exactly what we're speaking about, right? By universal law, your feelings are then expressed by your actions. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings are expressed through your actions, the way you react, right? The way you speak, the way you express yourself, the way you act. And when we feel confident, we feel energized, yeah, and we take different actions than we would if we felt down, frustrated, or sad. And when we know that our actions contribute to our results, it is very simple. We know the cause and the effect, right? As I said, follow me here now. Yeah, your thoughts cause your feelings cause your actions, and your actions create your results. The same thing is true with money. What do you think about money? What do you feel about money? How do you act in regards to money? This is what creates your money results over and over again. Okay. So most people don't get this. Most people look at their results, their circumstances, their situations, and their conditions, and they call those the causes. That's the cause. The outside world is the cause. No, the thought is the cause. The mindset is the cause. The ideology is the cause, right? The paradigm is the cause. Your belief system is the cause. All right? So, actually, what people do is they externalize their power. They say, because of this, because of the white man, because of patriarchy, because of racism, because of capitalism, because of power dynamics, that is why I am here. I had to point that out because I know the kind of woman that I'm speaking to. I am aware of these dynamics, and yet I want to remind us that we have more power to influence our own results than we are comfortable embodying, experiencing, wielding, meaning acting on it. All right? Perfect. So, actually, yeah, what we really do is to, as I said, externalize the power. Yeah, I can't start a business because I am pop, 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 pop. Yeah, because I will pop, 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 pop. Yeah, I can't take time off because, yeah, I don't have the money because I can't do this because I'm not young enough, not old enough, I don't have enough time, I'm not attractive enough, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I can't weather whatever because. Okay, and there are two true things here. The only thing that really creates our results are rooted here in your mind, in your thoughts. Yeah, I'm not saying that everything is going to change over time, but that is the beginning, and that is true, and that is a truth. Okay, so your results are caused by what you have been thinking, and this is the first cause. Yeah, because the truth is, you do not get to think. You are always thinking, it's on autopilot. You can choose your thoughts, or you can let your old habitual thoughts that you've been thinking run your life. That's up to you, right? So I always like to say, what has been running your life up until now has been on autopilot, but it is your responsibility to decondition your mind and to recondition your mind in alignment with truth. Okay? So, creating new results starts with awareness. Notice what you're noticing. If we want to create new results in our lives, then we want to pay attention to our thoughts and our feelings. And that is sometimes also subconscious. Not every thought is loud, but we can feel how we feel about a certain topic, especially about money, when we hear it, when we get triggered. Yes, this is how we feel what we've been thinking. When you thought money is the root of all evil, people who want money, people who want a lot of money are evil, they're probably a scam, they're probably not real, they're probably selling some bullshit, right? If you've been thinking about that, then this shows you the way you think about people with money and high money, a lot of money. Okay, very important. Notice what you're noticing. Yes, so notice where your feet are in your shoes right now. That's what you can notice. Touching the ground, notice that you can feel your socks or not. I'm wearing high heels right now. All right, yeah. So maybe you want to feel what you are feeling. And I want you to notice that you can feel the fabric of your beautiful clothes on your skin right now. That is how you notice what you're noticing. And you can do the same thing with your thoughts, right? You can notice where you've been thinking, and you can notice how what you're thinking affects how you're feeling. Okay? So become more self-aware here. So I want you to take out your sheet of paper or your journal and to write something down. So let's apply these concepts of the result formula and notice what you're noticing about your money. Get your pen or your pencil and your journal or your piece of paper, and we are going to do a little money assessment. I'm going to present some ideas for you and give you an opportunity to consider your current results. Yeah. I'm going to invite you to notice what you're feeling about money. Yeah. Make this statement. Make note of what feels true. And I want you to be true. I want you to be honest. I know that many of us have a limited mindset around money. So I want you to really write down what the yuck that comes up. I want you to write down I want you to be honest. Are you feeling some judgment around money? Right? Are you a person, right? Maybe you don't know exactly what your money goal is right now, but you know that there is something more for you, right? You feel the desire, otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You feel the desire, and it has a lot to do with you wanting to expand, wanting to grow. And a lot of times, that is the root, right? You don't know maybe what to choose. That's why I said this is about money. It's not about love. It's not about health. It's not about, not directly. As I said, everything is connected to everything, but we are focusing on money. So, right, you are focused on money, right? He has lots of dreams. Maybe you're a person that has lots of dreams, but you don't know where to start. Yeah. You want to create all at once? No. Focus. You have to focus, okay? You might be a person who has already achieved a lot of success, yes, and you're not feeling the fulfillment. Yeah, you want to feel and you want to make a difference, right? You have achieved a lot of success and you're not feeling all the fulfillment you want to feel and not quite making the difference that you want to make. You want to make a difference. You want to be a person of impact. You want to change your life and other people's lives for the better. Yeah? I know that because every one of us has a dream. Either we are feeling into it or not, but you're here. So allow yourself to feel into your dream. And I want to ask you again, like, what are your current results? Please write that down. What are your current results in your time and money freedom domain of your life? Right? Write that down. Again, to just get your mind going. Maybe you are a person who doesn't have the money freedom to do the things you really want to do, or to give and to contribute, or yeah, to give to causes and organizations that matter most to you. Or you are missing important moments with your family and you're not going where you want to go, you're not traveling, you haven't had as much fun and play in your life as you would like to. Yeah. Or you feel out of balance, like you have more time than money, or you have more money than time, and you'd love to feel more in harmony, right? I want you to really be honest with yourself, dive in and assess on a scale from 1 to 5, where are you? On a scale from 1 to 5, how fulfilled are you with your current time and your money freedom results? 1 being not fulfilled at all, and 5 being completely fulfilled. Go ahead and make note of that number in your journal. And if you're done, I want you to, yeah, now again, look, I love this depiction here really a lot because it is a spiral. And I always like to say, one thing affects the other, the other, the other. And it goes from you feeling good in your body about your money result. It's going to impact your relationships. It's going to impact your success in work. And it's going to impact ultimately your time and money freedom because it's a holistic approach. Your wealth identity is everything. Okay. It impacts everything in your life. Good. So, very, very important. This is not a place for you to feel the judgment or feel the judgment, but do not judge yourself. If you understand me correct, right? So pay attention to your thoughts around money and your money results. This is not a place for you to judge yourself or to blame yourself, right? Your responses are not good or bad, not right or wrong. They're just what they are at this point. We just accept them. It is what it is. And you're likely to feel a pull for more, yeah, of like more or less. You want something more money, less stress, right? Which is the signal again, the polarity, ready for more, ready to let go. Okay, we spoke about this earlier today. This is called noticing your longing and your discontent. You're longing for new results, more money, yeah, in a different, easier way, and less discontent, less pressing, less being constricted in a very limited life. So you're paying attention and noticing what you would love more or less of. Okay, write that down, please. So look at the rating that you gave yourself. And now let me ask you this. How long have you felt the discontent? How long has this area of your life been sending you these signals? Go ahead and write that down. For how long have you been longing for more money, more freedom? More freedom to invest in yourself, to invest in the quality food, to invest in the quality clothing, to invest in maybe the gym or the treatments or the doctor treatments, the private care, the quality care. For how long have you been longing to support your family, to yeah, to pay for a trip or the health care of your family? That are the things that we want to think about, right? For how long have you been feeling the desire to support causes more financially? Because again, to be honest, I always like to say that the engine for everything is money. And you know that too, right? So go ahead and write that down. So ask yourself now, what is maintaining this result costing you? What is it costing you if everything stays the same, to ask the question in a different way? A cost in one area of your life could lead to a cost in another area of your life. Whatever your results have been up until now, you have the power within you from this moment on forward to create the results you love. And it all starts here, here, and here. It starts here and here. And I know that every one of us has a dream. Yeah. So I really want to let you know that you have to start with where you are, feel your longing, specify your longing. Why do you want more money? And what are you done with? You're completely done with that bullshit, right? And then what is it costing you? What is that costing you? To specify, it means it costs you maybe your energy, your time, your health, your quality of time. It's costing you your sanity because you always pay. If you don't change, you always pay. Life will always ask you to pay. So no matter what, you're going to pay. And another time, we're going into the two signals for growth, longing, and discontent. That is how the mind works. So, the first key to success, because before you don't know why you want it and where you're going, we don't need to learn them. But now you identified what it is that you truly want, and now we can start designing your dream. This brings us now to the first key of mastering your results, and that is the first secret of the wealth architect, and that is designing your dream, right? When you would love different results in your life, you plan for them. You don't just go about it randomly, right? You have to have a clear blueprint when you want to build a house. The same thing is true with your dream. Without clarity, without a defined blueprint, you cannot build your dream. And this is what Howard Thurman, Dr. Martin Luther King's mentor, said. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. So I would love for you to come alive in your dream. And the first thing is clarity, right? You got paper. If you got your paper in front of you, write that down. Clarity is power. Every time I see this slide, I look at my own glasses because definitely without these glasses, I can't really see clearly. Right? So clarity is power. When you become clear on what it is that you really want in life, you begin to see opportunities and resources that you may otherwise have entirely missed. Things seem to appear out of the blue. Right? There's another saying, and I love that. A sailor with no destination in mind, to him, no wind is favorable, or to her, no wind is favorable, because you have to go with the wind, right? You have to use what comes along your way to get to your destination. But if you have no clear destination, you don't know how to use what opportunities are showing up in your life, right? Good. So let's design a blueprint for your dream and let's make it very crystal clear. And for our purpose and time available today, I invite you to, of course, focus on the money. And during our assessment earlier, which area of your life is going to create the biggest focus and the creative biggest impact in your life, right? All right, good. So I want you to journal. Now let's please get out your pen and paper. And in a moment, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write out what you would love most in this area of your life. And we're going to step into an imaginary time machine and go forward 3 years. So interesting. This is the DeLorean or whatever it's called, right? The car from Travel into the Future or Into the Future or something like that. And we are literally in the future. And that is how it is, right? We are living in a time of AI. We're living in a time of, yeah, artificial intelligence. Things move fast, but you can't use all of the things that are there to assist you also move fast when you don't know what you want and when you are not clear about your focus and then creating whatever it is that you truly desire. So everything happens for us, but we need to know how to use everything that is for us in alignment with our own intention. That is very, very important. So, what would you love for your life in 3 years to be like? And I want you to suspend any urge to figure out the how, yeah, this result is going to happen. If someone gave you a magic wand, and I am that someone, yeah, I want you to ask yourself, what would you love in your life? So if you're willing to close your eyes and take a deep breath, I want you to imagine that you got into this time machine and that you're now in the future. And 3 years from now, everything you wanted completely worked out. You have all the time and the money and other resources required. What would you love? What is happening in your life? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you be doing? Yeah? Who are you with? See it. How does it feel? Feel it. Let your imagination run with it. Dream big. Really allow yourself to feel into it. Okay, so gently open your eyes back, and now I'm going to give you 2 minutes to describe it on paper. Everything you just pictured in your imagination. And at the top of the page, write, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and take 2 minutes to be as clear as possible as you write out this dream. 2 minutes are going. All right, so 30 seconds. And then 10 seconds. Okay, so take a deep breath with me. Hmm. Yes, so what would you love, right? I invite you to write at the end of the journaling that you've just completed, this or something even better still. This or something even better still. This or something even greater still is a very powerful signal that what you've just expressed here is what is in your awareness at the moment. It's like holding your hands, right, open, that you're open and willing to receive something even more powerful and beneficial into your life. Congratulations, you have just created a life by design. All right. This is the first key to mastering your results, knowing what it is that you would love and describing it is the first step in bringing those results to life. So let me tell you why that first step is so important, right? Everything is created twice. First in thought and then in form, as we just learned with the results formula. Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Everything you see in this life is created by design of your mind. And this is not only true for just physical things, but it's true for your whole life experience. So if you think about it, you know it, right? It is very important to be aware that you know that everything that was created in this world was designed by the mind. Also, the biggest systems, the power structures, inventions, the whole world that we experience was designed by people's minds. And you get to play this game too by designing what it is that you want for your life. All right. So, very, very important. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Someone had to think it up before it could be built. And that is what you are doing today with your life. You're thinking up the design and you're designing your vision and designing your dream and designing your life. And this brings us to the second key. Oh, yeah. What would you love? This or something even better still. Yes, perfect. We've done that. And this brings us to the second key of mastering your results, and that is deciding for your dream. It's such a powerful tool. As I like to call it, it's the decision, is the timeline shift, is the quantum leap. That's exactly what it is. So, deciding for your dream, just like we experience the results throughout our day, we also make decisions each day, each moment of our lives. That decision might be what time to wake up in the morning. Later, we are deciding what we are going to cook, right? From simple decisions to more rigorous ones. And we make multiple choices every day. Whatever we decide influences our results. Even the smallest choices can have a great impact. And that is why it's so important that we know how to make empowered decisions. Decisions we make will determine the results. So, to master our results, we want to master our ability to make decisions. And this is here Bob Proctor, one best-selling author and one of the guys from The Secret. and he's also a life coach, is a single mental move you can make within a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. And this could literally propel you down a path to incredible success. And we have a name for this magic mental activity, and it is called decision. Yes, deciding for new results is very important. And deciding means cutting away. Yeah. In fact, it is proven that highly successful people are willing to decide for what they would love, even in the absence of knowing how to bring it about. Right? Yeah, let's wait a little bit. Some people want to know every step before they even embark on the journey. They want the green lights down to the whole street before they actually back up out of the driveway. Right? The key here is you make a firm decision for what you want, and before you even go out into doing this, you have to say, I am going to do this. You understand? So let me show you what I mean. Read this slide to yourself. I love this so much. So, right? Oops. Yeah. So that's incredible, right? Like looking at this paragraph here, yeah, we see that it's completely unintelligible. Yeah, but when the first letter and the last letter are in the right place, the middle can be jumbled up and your mind can still make sense of it and read it. And the point here is that I share this with you because it's so applicable to our vision for the life you would love living. After your life assessment, you now recognize your current results, where you are right now. Right? Now, the first step was the designing, and you also assessed that you are at a certain point. So you realize you're at certain point B. What's going on? Sorry. You realize that you are at point A. This is where you are right now, the status quo, and you know where you want to go with a vision. This is point B. This is the beginning and the end, and that's everything we need. Everything in the middle can be messy, unclear, chaotic. Yes, but we need to know where we are and we definitely need to know where we want to be. All right, good. So, okay, then after journaling, as I said, you now know where you want to go. And what happens in the middle, yeah, is the how. Is the how. And that's always the mind will ask, the monkey mind will ask us how this is going to happen. Okay, so what happens in the middle? That's exactly what the mind will always ask. So, your mind has a way of making sense of it. All of it is being willing to make a decision, deciding for new results, where you are right now and what you want. That is important, right? So, we have taken a look at the first and the second key to mastering your results, designing your dream, and then deciding for that dream. We do not have to know the how. But now we know what we want, we decide for it, and now this brings us to the third master key for today in creating your dream results, and that is this. Yeah, we've done that, check. And now it is about befriending your fear. All right, I hope you feel it. You have what you want. You know that you have to decide for it. Deciding also means cutting away. I wanted to mention that before. Deciding means cutting away everything that you no longer want, cutting away everything you no longer desire, even in the absence of the new. That is the how. We don't know the how, but we know that this is a scientific way on how to create results. The next step is befriending your fear. Befriending your fear, what does that even mean? Because I know that there is going to be a voice in your head, right? We have to make friends with fear. Yes, it means you can have fear, but you don't want to let the fear have you. This is where the nervous system work comes in. Because every time we create a new mental picture for the life that we desire to create, there is this how. The how is the uncertainty. And our ego, our limited self, our nervous system is afraid of the unknown. It sees the unknown, the darkness as a threat, right? And this is when our nervous system kicks in and wants to protect us by going into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. These are the protection, the survival mechanisms of our body. And our body means well, right? Our nervous system means well. It will signal things to your mind like, where will you get the money? How are you going to do that? Where will you find the time? You're right. That's never going to happen. That is what's going to come up, right? That is definitely what's going to come up. And that is how to befriend your fear is to continue to focus on the vision, right? To decide for the money vision that we just created in step one. And three things that are going to come up again as a sabotage, as I said, the sabotage is delay, distraction, procrastination. Delay is also procrastination. I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do it at another time in my life, next year, in next 5 years, whatever. That is the delay or the distraction with a man or with something else, you know? That's what we do as humans that are afraid. And then it's a dissuasion. Dissuasion is talking yourself out of it. Yeah, my situation is not that bad. Also a little bit of denial, right? My situation is not that bad. I can deal with that. It's not that bad, blah, 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 right? You will talk yourself out of it or into it. Or number three, DEFCON 1, that's how we call it over here. And it is a physical reaction. It's like a freeze, it's a panic attack, it's some kind of physical reaction that will sabotage you moving forward. And every time those three things, those self-sabotaging mechanisms come up, we reframe them as good news because again it's about noticing what you're noticing. It's about seeing what's actually going on. And what you can do in that moment is to shift your paradigm, and it's to say, yes, I can do it. One part of you is I can do it. The part of you that says I can do it is your infinite intelligence. It's your spirit, is your potential. Yes, I can do it. And then, of course, the nervous system, the human side, the ego is going to say, what if I fail? I'm going to be so afraid. It's always both. We can also call it the angel and the devil. All right? Okay. So, as I said, it's always going to chatter. And every time you are about to take the leap is going to be loud. Every time you are about to decide or you decided and then you now want to follow with your steps, then this is when the fear comes up the loudest at the fence, at the brink of this new world, right? This is when your nervous system is going to come up and translate into words, and it's going to say, now's not a good time. I make sure you don't experience that pain again. The nervous system wants to keep us safe. I'm here to keep you safe. Yeah. I make sure you're not going to be embarrassed. That's exactly what is going to happen. Yeah. And I always say that we learn to walk by falling down. We learn to walk by falling down, and we want to take a step, one baby step as another, after another, right? So I want to ask you, have you heard that voice right now in this activation? or before? Have you heard that voice today that said, yeah, right, I don't know, and so on and so forth? You don't have the time, you don't have the money. What if you fail? What if you embarrass yourself? No, stay safe. Stay safe. Mm-hmm. Yes. Raise your hand because that's how your life is trying to protect you, but it's not in your best interest. So, you know what? We all have it, and I know it, right? So we want to learn how to walk. We want to learn how to walk. Yeah, when we were babies, we started as non-walkers. We fell and we stood up again, and we fell and we stood up again. And that's exactly the same thing with money. Let me not fluff around here. It's the same thing with money. Even if you haven't created the results that you want up until now, that means that you can fall down, stand back up. That's how I did it. As I said, I was 25,000 euros into debt. Those debt are gone. Yes, those debt are gone. And it made me stronger. And the same thing happens with you. Fear and failure are prerequisites for achieving great dreams. Every person that created something worthwhile has faced fears and failure. Yeah. And it's part of it, but you can stand back up. So, befriending your fear means one part of you wants to go forward. I always like to say that's your spirit, that's your potential. And one part of you wants to play small. And that is your ego, that is your paradigm, that is your fear, that is your nervous system that kicks into distraction, delay, procrastination, talking yourself out of it, or a physical response of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, right? You're going to feel it in your body. And then we are going to say, not today, fear. Not today, fear. I am moving forward, even though I don't know the full road ahead, but I'm going to move forward every day. In every way. I'm getting better and better. And that is going, again, to just to sum it up, we all have that. I have it, you have it. We all just manage to deal with the nervous system because we never get out of our bodies, but we learn to overcome fear, doubt, and worry by putting our dream front and center. And I want you to do that too. Why do you want the money? What can you do with it? How would your life be better? How would the life of your loved ones be better? How would you create change for yourself? And how would you impact the world on a larger scale? And then you take the action even when you are afraid. Yes. So I want you to write down what is one thing that you can do right now? What is one thing that you can do right now in order to serve your dream, in order to take one action towards your dream? What can you do? Mhm. Right? And one thing that I can tell you is that there is a whole process to this that I take my clients through in the Wealth Architect program. But for our purpose today, I'm going to give you just this one thing, right? As we just said, you put your dream front and center, and then you take this step. Where your attention goes, energy flows. So when you notice your paradigm showing up, whatever form that shows up like fear, you start thinking small. And here's what you do. You interrupt that pattern. I'm going to go back here. That you interrupt that pattern and you say, not today, fear. And you reconnect to your vision and you take a step. So you refocus your mind on your dream and all those ideas that dissolve your discontent and answer your longing, meaning you focus on the dream and you focus on why you can actually take a step, right? You can do it even in the face of fear, right? Focus on what you would love, the dream that brings you alive and has good in it for others. Yeah. Put the fear out of your mind and instead bring it to, put that fear, no, put that fear out of your mind and bring your dream to your mind. Okay. And that's it. This is the key. It's about taking action. Just thinking about your vision, your dream, and writing it down is not going to make it happen. Just poof like magic. No, you have to have this part where you take action, even if you do it afraid. Okay, so take a moment now and look at what you have written down as your dream and ask yourself, what is one thing I could do? What is one action I can take in the next 5 minutes, right? That would move me in the direction of my dream. You can always ask yourself, what can I do in the next 5 minutes, in the next 10 minutes, in the next hour that will move me towards my dream? And there are probably a lot of things, right? If you're looking for another goal or clients, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're looking to expand your money, right? It's maybe contact that person, talk to somebody for that event, that speaking gig. Yeah, it's for that speaking gig. Yeah, you can do something, write that down, right? Okay, you can Google. You have the ideas. I know that because probably you've been procrastinating. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds. You've written it down already, right? Write that down. What is something? And remember, it took you many attempts at taking steps before you learned how to walk. And that was an important life milestone. So, is your dream? What is one thing that you can do? Great. So raise your hand if you have thought of at least one thing that you can do, one action step you can take in the direction of your dream. And now you have a better understanding of what it means to befriend your fear, right? All right. So okay, as promised to you at the beginning of our time together, I have a gift for you. And then I'll close with a story that will wrap up this training. But first, let's recap what we've covered. You learned through the numbers game, yeah, that there's an invisible pattern to success. And when you expand your awareness of what that pattern looks like, your results naturally increase. Yeah, you get faster, you can see the patterns, and you learn that if you want to change your results, first change your thinking. You learn to generate new ideas by asking the question, what would I love? Right? You learn the three keys to mastering your results, which are three of the 10 principles of the wealth architect, which I'm certified to teach. The first key was, I think is it going to be here? Right? The first key really was to expand your awareness of the patterns for success, change your results, change your thinking, and generate new ideas by asking yourself, what would I love? That's the vision, right? What would I love should be connected to your heart. So we spoke about designing your dream, creating a blueprint for what you want to achieve, and the clearer the blueprint, the more power you have. The second key is deciding for your dream. Check. Yeah, and the power of making decisions for the thing you want in the absence of knowing how to do it. And the third key is befriending your fear. Check, we've done that. And how fear and failure are prerequisites for your greatness. Befriend your fear and shift your paradigm to achieve your dream. And I want to let you know that you are worthy, right? Above all, remember that you are worthy of living your dream life and a life that you love. Yeah? So raise your hand if you feel connected with the ideas and if you really implemented them over and over again, if you believe that they will make a difference in your life. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I am going to close with the story, but first, I have a gift for you. As I said, I have a special gift for those who are ready to take this into action, right? If you still have a question after this, I want to take 15 minutes out of my busy schedule to talk to you about the questions that you have, to gently guide you to make the decision. If you want to be part of the wealth architect, right? If you want to be part of the wealth architect and you say, this is what I want, this is truly what I deserve the support to dive into my wealth identity and also to create a six-figure blueprint for myself, then I'm here to help you. And if you're serious, please message me so we can do the 15 minutes laser focus answering your questions if you still have one. Otherwise, you're free to enroll yourself into the Wealth Architect. I'm looking forward to hear from you or see you in the Wealth Architect. All right, good. So I want to tell you a little story. Okay. So the little story, you can relax now and really see yourself in your vision. I want you to put your vision again front and center of your mind and really feel that you've already have it clear. Okay? All right. So I close with this story. It's a true story, and it's about William H. Murray. He's known as one of the top five mountain climbers of all time, but he didn't start out that way. Yeah, in fact, he almost let the opportunity of greatness slip right on him. Most mountain climbers would tell you that the greatest achievement for any mountain climber is to summit Mount Everest. A man named Edmund Hillary was putting together a team to attempt to do just that, and Hillary wanted Murray on his team. At that point, no one had ever reached the peak of Mount Everest, and the effort was going to require an investment of time and money, and each climber would have to pay his own way. So when Hillary invited Murray, Murray thought, I would love to be in on that expedition, but how much is it going to cost me? And when confronted with the price, he said he saw no way of coming up with that kind of money. So he had to decline the invitation, and Hillary went on to climb without him. Hillary's team had a great expedition, but they still did not reach the summit. A couple of years later, Edmund Hillary was putting together another expedition, and he sought out Murray once again. Hillary said, Murray, we all want you on this team. Come with us. And for the second time, William H. Murray asked how much it would cost and to go about this expedition. Once again, when confronted with the price, he said no. The number was more than he believed possible for himself. He declined based on conditions. So Edmund Hillary and the team hiked Mount Everest without him a second time. They got further up the mountain this time, but still did not reach the peak. Deja vu. And Hillary asked Murray again for the third time. Hillary says, listen, we're going to go one more time, and I think we're going to reach the summit this time. Because when we got down the last time, I looked back at Everest and said, I will climb you because you're not getting any bigger, but I am. So this time, when Hillary asked Murray to come with the team, Murray asked a different question. He said, "How much is the how much is the deposit?" Because Murray decided that he would go on his expedition. He had no idea how he was going to pay for the trip, but how didn't matter. He was committed. He put down his initial payment and he was on his way. As it turns out, Murray attracted all the financial resources required to go on the full expedition, and it was Murray who discovered a southern route to the Everest that allowed the group to summit the mountain. Murray wrote up his experience in the book called Everything, Evidence of Things Not Seen. Evidence of Things Not Seen. And one of the famous quotes from that book, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Let that sink in. Absence of evidence is simply that absence of awareness. You have a Mount Everest dream, and perhaps there is no clear path at that point. But what that doesn't mean that there is no path, that there doesn't exist a path. It just means that you're still growing your awareness to be able to see the things that you can do to generate the results that you want. I am honored to be able to support you in learning the keys to master those results. I'm going to close this workshop, this wealth activation, with another very famous quote from Murray's book. And he said, until one is committed, there's hesitancy, a chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, and the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, namely, that the moment of definite commitment, the providence moves. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise would have occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manners of unseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no one could have dreamt would have come their way. Until one is committed, there's hesitancy, a chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. And one last quote, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And that is the power of vision. I know that you have a splendid dream, and I know that you have what it takes to make it true. And I want you to know that the 3 steps are really everything you need right now to make a decision for your dream. And it will be my honor and my pleasure to help you up Mount Everest. So remember, as you walk out of this room into your room, into your sanctuary, I want you to know that you really have what it takes. You have something in you that is greater than any circumstance, situation, or condition that you are facing right now. And you have this incredible power within you. This is a moment for you to make a decision for your dream, to take bold action because everything is in your hands. And I'm here to teach you how to hold that trust and how to create your 6-figure blueprint. So it has been a privilege and an honor to spend this time with you today. And thank you.